Hello, I'm David Prater with Arcadia Valley School District. This is my third year as a head coach at this district. I spent 7 years at Poplar Bluff High School in Poplar Bluff as an assistant varsity head coach and then head freshman coach for 7 years. The scenario I'd like to talk about today would be uh, an authentic scenario from my first year as a head coach at Arcadia Valley. I got the job right after finishing my degree. Uh, the principal at Arcadia Valley, whose name I'm gonna leave out, um, I'm good friends with his younger brother. I knew who he was, but I really wasn't, really familiar with him. He called me up and offered me the job. I came and interviewed. Everything went well, and I ended up getting the job. First year coaching, I get a student athlete whose home life was extremely rough. He was one of those kids that the athletic director and the principal told him he needs basketball more than basketball needs him. So I'm a big fan of trying to keep kids around that really need it to see them progress in the right direction. So I decided to keep the kid on the team. He wasn't a bad athlete. He wasn't, you know, the best athlete. He was an okay individual, but you could tell that he had some rough edges. So our season's progressing along, and I have strict rules, bylaws that we go by. No missing practices, be on time. If you're on time, you're late, things of that nature. And he always pushed that issue. He always, oh, oh, coach, I can't make it to practice today. My mom's in the hospital. My car broke down. More instances than needed to really be a part of a team. Uh, and when I'm trying to build a program, which really needs, you know, full steam ahead, everything needed to build. So the season's progressing, and where I say we're around January, and this kid he's missed games, he's missed practices, he's missed a lot of stuff. But as I said earlier, he's a kid that I felt like you give a little grace to because he needs this to make it in life. So we get to about uh, I say January, mid January. His dad finally shows up, starts coming to some games. He hadn't came to games all season. Um, and then he shows up at a game. And the son probably played 2 minutes that game. I hadn't seen this. I hadn't spoken to his dad all day. As soon as the game's over with, I'm walking to the locker room, and his dad comes up to me right in the middle, right after the game. Why is my son playing? Attitude like, oh, he's one of the best players out there. He's one of the best rebounders. He plays harder than any of those kids out there. All these things walk, right after the game. Luckily, my principal happened to be there that day, and he walked right up to it as soon as, hey, this is not the time or the place to be talking to my coach. He kind of, you know, stepped in and, hey, coach, go to the locker room. We're not gonna do this right now. So I got out of that situation. So a couple weeks go down the road, and the kid misses my best player tears his ACL. So I have a 6'6" post player averaging a double double. He tears his ACL. This kid probably 6'2", 6'3", pretty good rebounder. We go play a game and we got out rebounded by about 20 rebounds, and the kid was nowhere to be found. He didn't come to the game, didn't let me know any of that stuff. So we play again, and then his dad tries to come talk to me after the game again about his son not playing. And this time I spoke up, hey sir, hey, I would love for your son to be playing, but your son literally missed a whole basketball game 2 nights ago. I said he didn't let me know, he didn't contact me, he didn't let anybody know, he just didn't show up for a game. And a game that I really could have used him because he's a pretty good rebounder, and we didn't, we struggled from the rebounding perspective. So, hey, please go in there real quick. So we hashed it out right there, and then he kind of lost it right there. And luckily, my principal happened to be there again. Helped me out. Hey, this is if you want to talk to coach, we can set up a meeting. This is not the right time to talk to right after a game because I think we lost that game, and I was a little irritated, and I didn't probably handle it the best way possible, but I kind of let him know that, hey, your son doesn't show up to anything. I mean, your son misses all the time. Like I don't know what he's a junior in high school. He should be able to make it to a practice. He should be able to make it to games, or he should be able to find a ride to make it. I have no problem giving him a ride if that's what he needs. But we talked about all those things. At that time, the dad yelled, well, my son's been wanting to quit, and I've been telling him not to. Now I'm not gonna keep him from quitting. I'm gonna allow him to quit. Well, that might be the best thing for him, sir. Because we're not seeing eye to eye, and I'm not gonna play anybody who doesn't show up to practice. That's one of my big things. You don't show up the practice before a game, you don't play in that game. It's that simple. Just show up to practice when you're supposed to be at practice. This is one of those situations where I thought keeping a player around because your athletic director and your principal kind of edged you in that direction came and bit me back in the butt. There was more negative than positive in this situation. I mean, he wasn't a bad kid, but I don't think he brought any positive into the program, and I thought that all he did later in the season was cause me a headache with his father coming around and trying to bully his way into his son to some playing time, because I'm a big believer in I try to build relationships with my players, and I try to give them the best chance to become the best version of themselves on and off the court, and but that's on you to make sure that process happens. So I thought, instead of meeting right after a game, I thought us meeting, setting up a meeting time, having AD and principal, in the meeting to where we could discuss everything, because I had paper trails of everything that he missed, everything that he wasn't a part of, to show that I'm not just playing your son, not to play him. Like, he doesn't show up. And he was one of the reasons that next year I put in rules at the beginning of the season about missed practices and things of that nature. So it really helped out in that following year. Kids making sure, hey, I need you where you're supposed to be at when I need you. Thank you.